Hi all, I hope you're well. So the dust has settled after the Fallout 76 reveal and the E3 interviews. We know a lot more details and have a much better understanding now of what Fallout 76 is. Something that's really caught people's attention is the settlement building part of the game. That's back again. But there's a lot of misinformation and inaccurate rumour spreading going on, so I'm going to try and clear some of that up as best I can. This video focuses on the settlement building, but I'll probably get other videos out here and there on some of the other things that are being misrepresented as well. At the end of this video I'll go back over some of these things in a bit more detail too. First of all, let's look at the camp. In the vault you will be given a device called a camp. That's the Construction and Assembly mobile platform. This is a fold-out machine that you can place almost anywhere as long as the ground is flat. It's essentially a workshop enabling you to build wherever you put it. If you change your mind, then you can move your camp, but will pay a small amount of caps to do it. This means putting down all of your things again, but to save time, you can save structures as blueprints to put down next time. If you make a really good workshop out the back of your settlement and you want to save it and reuse it again, then you can do that. When you leave the game, your camp is packed up and will disappear from that in-game world and its players. When you log back in, it will appear in that in-game world, unless somebody happens to have already chosen your spot already, in which case it closes down into a blueprint which you can take and put somewhere else, even if it's just 10 meters over away from the other person. There is a couple of exceptions though to where you can place your camp. There is a couple of exceptions to placing the camp though. You can't put it down right outside the vault to annoy other players, or around key quests for the same reason. You can build structures, place down defence positions or turrets, workshop benches, furniture, all sorts. Some of the items do require you to have certain perks though. To place a medical store you need to have the first level of the first aid perk. Missile turrets need the third level of the home defense perk. Talking of defending it, your build could be nuked. This will damage it but will not destroy everything forever. You'll need to walk around and repair things, which is cheaper than replacing them. They can also get damaged in other events, which I will talk about later on. A green ring will appear around your build to show the area in which you can build your new home, which is another thing. I'm not going to call these settlements from now on. These are individual homes. If you played Fallout 4, you'll know that some settlements like Sanctuary were enormous and allowed you to make a small town. Your camp enables you to build your new home, not a new town. It's a smaller space and a much lower build limit, but is big enough for you to make it a home for yourself. Be it a farm, a bar, a medical facility, a trader outposts with machine dispensers for players to buy things from, a fight club for players to fight with their fists over bets for in-game items, whatever you want to build. Build it and make sure you are happy with it. It's your building after all. The point is that 24 players making an infinite amount of towns on the map is a bad idea. We each get a plot of our own and, like real life, other players may move in next to us if it's a good spot and we're friendly neighbours. Now there's 2 houses, or maybe more if other players slowly join the area. But it is your home and that's all you have control over. Except public workshops. These can be claimed if you kill the monsters there, giving you access to some of the best resources in the game. Lead, for example, to make bullets, a very worthwhile thing in a multiplayer survival game. Either you can craft with it or sell it to others, or craft bullets and then sell the bullets. I'm sure it's not the only way to get these materials, but it's probably the quickest way to get them in bulk. When you take the public workshop, it may spawn events, and you'll need to defend the public workshop from these events. Speaking of events, different locations will have events spawning now and again, like an attack from super mutants or something worse. You will have a prompt on screen and you can decide if you want to help or not. If you decide to help, you can jump in and defend the location. That's the background theory of building in Fallout 76, but let's have a look at some of the details. First of all, the menus have been reworked. They appear along the side now and feel less intrusive. Along the top is the categories of item: walls, roofs, stairs, etc. Not sure why they didn't put turrets and traps under defences, but it's a separate option. There's also an option to modify, but we don't know what this does yet. It would be nice to reskin some items so they are different colours or materials, but we don't know yet. When building the walls, it's pretty much the same, but I think we can cycle left and right to change materials and how the wall looks. Maybe the next one is wood, then metal, concrete, etc. This is the other way around to Fallout 4, where you chose the material and then chose the type of item, walls, roofs, etc. Now we'll choose the type of thing we want and cycle to decide the material. Stored may refer to things you built and stored. While testing something for later in this video, I built 63 pieces of the same wall. At the end I stored them all and changed menus. It would be easy to forget that I have that resource sitting there doing nothing. In fact, I've done that many times in Fallout 4. It only tells you you have that item if you scroll to it in the menus. Otherwise, you have no idea. Perhaps wasting resources building something really similar because you didn't know you had stored resources. There's also blueprints at the top where we can make something and store it as a blueprint. Did you make a really good shack for your character to take shelter in during the night while you craft away at things? Store it as a blueprint. Then it's quick to make it again next time. The venue mender looks really good. Here we can make vending machines. Looks like we can craft things, stock machines, then let other players wander in and buy from the vending machines. The medical one probably has stim packs, maybe antibiotics, and the 2 radiation meds too. Players need the first aid perk because they need to know how to craft this stuff first. This is a really great way of passively generating caps, assuming somebody goes into your building and buys something. I'm hoping the others require a perk of some sort as well. Here we see the cooking station. It looks like we could cycle through all of the food production items like stoves, the spit roast over a fire, etc. You can cycle through the chem stations, armour, weapons workbenches along with power armour. Not sure what this one is though. I think it's probably an ammunition workbench to craft ammo. We can craft ammo, so this could be the bench to do it. There's a banjo too. Seems like we'll have a few different musical items we can use if we want. There's guitars, harmonicas, drums, some sort of horn has been shown in various videos or trailers. Something we don't see, but I'm anticipating, is unique objects that we'll be able to get from different locations. Prior to the No-Clip documentary, which I recommend watching, I made a video about the golf clubs we saw in the reveal trailer. I proposed that we'd get those from the Greenbrier Golf Club. Since then I've noticed other things as well, like skis in the trailer. Where would we get skis? Well, we'd get them from the ski resort called Top of the World, in the very centre of the map. This makes me think we'll be picking up unique collectibles from different places and putting them in our homes to show off. In the E3 video, we see somebody building a few items. From this, we can make some rough calculations to work out how much we could build in a worst and best case scenario. I'd wanted to test out some smaller builds in Fallout 4 as soon as I saw the videos, but couldn't think of a way of working out the workshop build limit. But a Reddit post gave me an idea on how to do it. This post points out that when they build a wall in the video, the workshop budget bar goes up by 3 pixels, and means we should be able to build 63 walls in total. Yes, I know paint is not a good tool for measure, and the build bar is also not reliable, but it's the only thing we have to go on right now. I also measured the other items they placed. Artillery, they put down 2 missile turrets, a cooking station. These items are in Fallout 4, so a comparison can be made. I quickly ran into a problem though. Using the walls as a control measure, the workshop budget didn't match up with some of the same items in Fallout 76 and Fallout 4. I don't mean the workshop budget bar, that won't match because it's a different budget. I won't list the numbers here because that would be quite boring, but basically missile turrets use up 6 times the workshop budget in Fallout 4 than in Fallout 76. The cooking station uses nearly 3.5 times the workshop budget in 4 compared to 76, although the artillery only takes up 1.6 times the workshop budget, making it very costly on your build in Fallout 76 compared to the other things. You can have 5 missile turrets for the same workshop budget as 1 artillery. This is all using the 63 walls as a control measure. But anyway, that's besides the point. I've made 2 builds in Fallout 4 with no mods to illustrate the highest and lowest build limits that we may have. We can't be sure from the limited footage we've seen so far, but I've tried to get an idea of what we can build. The smallest is a very modest little home. A few lights, a small generator along with some furniture. A nice little outside area, slightly lowered down with somewhere to sit and relax. This limit is unrealistically small though. We saw bigger builds in the E3 video, prompting me to check out the numbers and finding the differences I've mentioned. The second, bigger build is a lot more detailed. We have 4 machine gun turrets around the outside with a proper guard post as well. A seating area around a fire to keep warm, in front of a small area to grow crops and get water, which are things we're going to need. I have a flashing light to attract people's attention. The floor ramps bring us up to a bar, with seating all along the side and the bar itself along the right. It has 2 stalls to sit on. My settlers seem to really like this place. They flooded in here as soon as I finished. Here is a nice seated area with a sofa and magazine rack.
You work, you eat. It's as simple as that.
Of course we have a toilet, I forgot to mention that. There's a cooking stove at the end of the bar with a couple of shelves. Upstairs is actually my bedroom. There's a wardrobe, sofa, desk and chair. I always make a double bed, but this one has a trunk, 2 bedside tables, 2 paintings and a cooler. Back downstairs there's an area I haven't mentioned yet. It's my workshop and is off limit to others. Pretty much everything I need is in here. My power armour in a stand, workshop benches, although I wouldn't leave guns out in Fallout 76 in case somebody took them. These dummies might be real players working on things in Fallout 76. There's rugs and signs all over the place too, just because I had workshop budget left after all of this. The Vault Boy and Vault Girl statues out the front are only there for that reason too. I upped the power to the second generator so I could add more lights. In the end I didn't quite use it all, but I didn't want to just keep adding random stuff. These 2 builds are completely different size-wise and in detail. I think the workshop budget is somewhere in between these. but the videos do show buildings a lot closer to the bigger one than the smaller. This gives me a lot of hope that we can make ourselves a decent home and a small business or something else. Whatever you would like to build, really. Anyway, thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you next time.